Okay, so on the left there is the Run It Back Discord, which is basically just an API that takes a local Bytes data, turns it into some neat spreadsheets and images, and just returns of information. I'm gonna need, where is the other one? I want teams, teams minus name, nice. This should be what we want. Nope, there it is. Oh, I put, there we go. Okay. I think it's this one. 4996. I don't know why UCF Knights Academy is. It's 2 Academy. This one makes some sense. So we're going to take this code. This is our team code. And we're going to apply it to one of these heat map things. I'm going to look up their VLR real quick. Knights Academy VLR. So this one should work. Yep, good. Go to their stats. I have the day that they started playing together, so I'm going to input that to the. It is January 2nd of 2022. January 2nd, 2022. So this is the maps that they've played so far, and this is their win rates on them. They have 4 on Ascent that are 100% win rate, so we're probably going to ban us. And they have 2 Haven, so we'll try to avoid playing Haven or just counter their strats on it. The good thing is they only have 4 comps. It'll be pretty easy to counter strat. So basically what I'm going to do is run through the list of which team or which maps I think it will be picking first. Let's see, they had a very low win rate on Bind. So we'll pick Bind first, but they'll probably ban it. That was against the Velocity. I'm going to check the teams on these actually, because that will depend on which team. Yeah, they beat Luminosity on Ascent, and they lost to Luminosity, but it wasn't a very bad loss on Icebox. They beat Lenny Time 13-11. They beat Lenny Time 13-8. So I'm gonna say Bind, and then maybe Haven or Split. It depends on how my team feels, but we don't have any information on Split, so I don't need to run that. So we'll do Bind first. So the way that this works is we go to Run It Back Discord. Look up one of these maps. Take this, paste that below. We'll take the team code, we'll copy that into here, and then it's a bind for the map. I usually do defense first and then attack after, because the defense one we want to be on the bottom of the image. It's just easier if we do that first. And then we want to do start date, and we don't really need an end date because they've only been together for 3 weeks. And the start date should be here, so we're going to copy that. This one you're going to have to look up yourself or ask me. Once you get into it, it's pretty easy to do once over and over. You just change the team name, or you change the map name, and you change the starting side, which is different suited. So we're going to paste here the date for the starting date. Make sure that I have the team correct. Team locations, good. Defense, start, keep up, good. Now while this is loading, I'm just going to copy it, paste it, and do an attack one. So then what I do is I take this, I open the original, I save that. Now you have to remember that this is defense. So what we're going to do is we're going to open it. It'll open in the image program. You might have to right click on it and open it manually in that, but that's up to you. I think I'll stop by you. Good. Okay. Okay. We're going to rename this to blue, or just defense. Either of them work. Alright, we're going to close this. We're going to go to the next one down. This is the attack one. Those are very similar actually. This is going to be a good example. Guess what? I'm probably going to have to delete some of it. Paste that. We're rename this to red. Now what I do is I go to the colors. I return alpha channel. Does that have an alpha layer? Yeah, it does. Okay. If it doesn't work ever, it should always, but if it doesn't, there's a thing called an alpha channel over here. If you right click, add alpha channel, but this one already has it, so it's blurred out. Colors, color to alpha, white. Good. Now the colors, color to alpha, black. You can do a bunch of different sliders. You can also just copy this code to this one. They both do the same thing. Now that's just the heat map. There's no actual image below it. One of the things that I usually do also is I'll take the yellow part right here. Wait, I'm gonna have to back. Copy this. Go forward again. I screwed something. That I usually duplicate the layer, not just paste once. So this, we're gonna highlight this with this mode. Delete that. So now all we have left is the heat map. There's no yellow remaining. That's good. Okay. And now for the second heat map, we're going to duplicate this. We're going to remove the color from both, like we did before. Remove the white, remove the black. That. Good. Okay. Now we'll do the same thing with the background of the site. I don't like removing this with the color tool because sometimes it gets rid of the yellow in the color map itself. So we just highlight part of the site that's not actually covered in the color map, in a heat map. We do that instead. Alright, now if we overlay these, you'll notice that some of them overlap. So what I do is I take the red one, I'm going to add a layer mask to it. I'm going to color this. You make sure that you swap these over to the left side because that's where the color is. The other one is the opacity. And just going to color this in. Basically what this does is it turns all of the different colors to red. And I'll do the same thing on this one. Add layer mask, transfer, and then change this to light blue. Cyan, which are my color. Okay, so now the basics are done. Like you could send this to a team and they'd be pretty impressed by it. What I'm going to do on top of this though is apply the layer mask, highlight one of these, either of them, doesn't matter. Go to the other one, choose Add to the current selection. Highlight that one as well. And now make a new layer. All you'll have now is the combined. So between the two of them, actually you need to invert your selection. You forgot to do that. Now what you'll have is the combined. So this is where they sit when they're both attacking and defending. From there, I make a new layer again. I add magenta color. I changed the size to 30 because that's the size of the dots on the heat maps. And then I kind of just go in and put some blobs. For this one, I'm going to do this. I hold shift and then drag. That makes a line. This one's weird. It's like a stack. Okay. This one's basically just one circle. This one's pretty much a line. Hookah is completely fucking covered. Or this is ridiculous. I'm gonna skip doing most of this because it's kind of tedious. Actually, no, I have to do this anyways, so I'm just gonna do it. I'll try to be quick, that way you don't have to sit through most of the video. You can skip to probably 3 minutes from now. If you really want to. It's basically one angle. This is 2 angles. This is 1 angle. It's 1 angle. This is 1. Now the only issue with this is that it doesn't show what way they're facing. If I can get that information, it would be really cool. Because then I could look up these key points and figure out which angles they hold the most. But we're not at that part yet, so I think it's I think you need a higher version of Redback to get that access. Add these two. Oh, this is weird. They actually have 2 lurks right here. And then remember those. They aren't afraid to push up on Barn, actually. It's really good information, you know? And they basically just covered Hookah. Like, if we clear Hookah, we're gonna have to full clear it. Yeah, they have everyone. Basically just a giant fight in Hookah. That should be good enough. I might do one here. Just because it looks like the red lurks a little bit farther out, and then the blue lurks farther in. There's a little bit of white that's not covered here. I'm going to leave that just because we want their main position that they play. Alright, so now what I do is I highlight the surrounding area again. I select, I grow by 2. Zoom in a little bit here. We're going to highlight this one, which is intersect with the current selection. We're going to highlight the purple, the magenta. I'm going to select again. I'm going to grow by 1 this time, and then make my brush size larger so it's easier to cover this, and then just kind of go over the whole image. I'm going to full screen this for you, and this is how I get the heat maps for both sides as well as their spots that they play the most. Hope that helped.